There was over 40 impactful injuries the past few days, and at first it just had me feeling sick. I hated seeing all these players go down, and also in terms of fantasy, I was panicking a little bit. But the more I started doing research and ranking the waivers for this video, the more hope I had. So not all hope is lost. It's only been 2 weeks, so let's stock up on those running backs. We can still win this thing. These are my week 3 fantasy football waivers. What's going on, fantasy football fans? I'm your host, Hussein the Brain, and you're watching The Couch for the best waiver wire videos, best fantasy strategy videos, and live streams. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon so you won't miss anything. Before we get into the waivers, I just wanted to put up some recent news. The Couch Captains and I tried to come up with a list of all the recent injuries. I may be missing some, and maybe some of these need updating. I will also put all 50 of these updates in the description if you want to take a quick look at them. So yeah, there's a lot of injury news. A lot of players are out for the season. A lot of players are returning. Half the 49ers are injured. There's just so much going on that I wrote them down below in the description as well if you wanted to take a look at that. Let's go on to the waivers. Keep saying, if you're in a 1 QB league, there's not a whole lot going on for you except for guys like Gardner Minshew, who's one of the best draft value picks on draft day. He went undrafted in a lot of leagues. We also have Ryan Fitzmagic going up against each other. Jags are playing the Dolphins. Ryan Tannehill's been very good, very efficient, just like last year. Mitch Trubisky, not a quarterback that you can trust, but a good matchup against the Falcons. Also, Drew Lock is injured, and Driscoll didn't look too bad. Why I'm avoiding some of these, why I'm not putting some of these names that are in between is because a guy like Sam Darnold, for instance, he's owned in all dual quarterback leagues or super flex leagues, right? But a guy like Driscoll is not. And so I'm just putting guys that actually might help you. If I put Sam Darnold, you don't want to add that guy in a 1 QB league ever. But if you're in a super flex, he's already owned. So I feel like that's not going to help anybody. But yeah, there's some injuries. Also, we can add, let's add Nick Mullins to this list with Jimmy Garoppolo possibly missing a game. For running backs, though, this is the most important position. You got to go get your cuffs, or, if your running back's injured, or go out there, spend 100% FAB and go get a guy like Joshua Kelly or Mike Davis. Josh Kelly needs to be owned in every single league. Mike Davis needs to be owned in every single league. One of the popular questions I'm getting, how much FAB should I spend on Mike Davis? Just to be simple, I'd spend about 30 to 100%. Because it's going to be worth it. Look, here's the thing that some people aren't really thinking of. I'd say most people aren't really thinking of. Bye weeks are going to be coming in a couple weeks. Also, this isn't the last of the injuries. It's not, don't assume that it's going to be very, very naive to assume there's going to be no more injuries. Okay? So, boo-hoo, I got 4 running backs that are really good. I don't need that many running backs. Don't say that. Do not say that. 4 running backs is great. If you have 4 running backs, that's awesome. I know you can only start 3. That's good for you. That's a good thing. Actually, on my end, I'm missing wide receivers. I drafted A.J. Brown in a couple leagues and Cortland Sutton in a couple leagues. So I could really use a wide receiver. But you'll see, these running backs are going to be very important. So don't think I'm going to trade for a wide receiver and give a really good running back away. Don't do that. Running backs are so important. At number 3, we got Jerick McKinnon. Raheem Mostert's out. Tevin Coleman's hurt. Jerick McKinnon is also a must-add in every format. Then we have Darrell Henderson. I ranked him lower because Cam Akers and Malcolm Brown, don't know if any of them are going to miss time, or if Cam Akers is hurt. Sean McVay's not to be trusted, especially when he talks about running backs. So we kind of have no clue. It's been a pretty good offense for the Rams so far, and I think that trend will continue. Might not, but I think it will. I think they'll be solid this year. And even though that there's a committee, a 3-headed monster, all 3 running backs, that's Akers, Hendo, and also Malcolm Brown, could be valuable in fantasy, at least worth rostering as your RB5 or something like that. Why not? Devontae Freeman is expected to sign with the Giants as I'm recording this. if I had to guess or if I had to predict, I would say Devonta Freeman would be the starter for the Giants. I might be wrong. It might be Dion Lewis. Seems like Wayne Gallman's not going to be the guy. Look, I don't know. Devonta Freeman is okay. He's not good and he's not terrible. And we've seen him decline a little bit, but like I said, I think he'll be the starter eventually. Probably not a guy you could start week 3. That's a bit extreme right there, a bit too bold. But a guy you definitely want to stash. And as you see, I posted on Twitter several days ago, like, hey, pick up Devonta Freeman, like pick him up. Also, Jeff Wilson, he could get a lot of carries for the Niners, especially when the Niners are up. He seems to be more of the actual running back, the one to get rush attempts, while Jerick McKinnon is more of the pass catcher, a little bit quicker running back. Then we have Dion Lewis in PPR. Now we're getting into deeper leagues where, you don't really need these guys. Myles Gaskin, who's actually surprised me quite a bit. The best running back on the Dolphins, folks, is Myles Gaskin. I also have Gio Bernard in PPR, Duke Johnson, who should be coming back week 3, Chris Thompson in full PPR, Frank Gore, while Bell is out, he won't be good, but he'll get a lot of carries, maybe 20 carries, Carlos Hyde, Wayne Gallman, and Jordan Wilkins. Super deep leagues. It's worth noting he got 9 carries and 40 rush yards in week 2. For wide receivers, there's a ton of them. We got, and I'd say the top, everyone on this list is basically worth adding in a 12-team league, or worth considering. You don't have to. If you're avoiding these wide receiver injuries, all 11 of these guys are definitely worth considering. If you don't have any injured wide receivers, you don't need them. But I like all the people on this screen right here. Russell Gage, Julio's hamstring could be worse than he led on to the team. Jalen Reagor, not a guy you want to put in your starting lineup. By the way, quick note about FAB. One golden rule I'm going to kind of add is that if you're not planning on starting a guy you're trying to add off waivers this week, so like I'm adding, these players, if I'm not planning on starting them week 3, I'm probably going to spend $0 FAB on them. That's why if you're planning on starting or running, like if you got C-Mac, I have C-Mac in one league, I think. And I'm probably going to put 100% FAB on Mike Davis because I'm trying to win, especially in that league. It's a 96-team Patreon league. In short, it's winner take all like type of league where I have to win my division. And if I don't have a guy like Mike Davis, I think I'm for sure going to lose. So it's okay to spend 100% FAB on a guy like Mike Davis or Joshua Kelly. But I think it's not really okay to spend any significant FAB on any of these wide receivers unless you're super. I mean, I wouldn't because I'd rather get Traquan Smith for free or N'Keal Harry for free, whatever. Keelan Cole, who's a no name that I've always been raving about. I've said he's such a huge sleeper on the Discord last week. You can get him maybe for free. I got him for free last week with $0 FAB. So don't spend too much on a wide receiver, except if someone better than this is available, then sure. I like Jalen Reagor, not necessarily right now, but he seems to be the wide receiver 1 on that team, or has the potential to be. Deshaun Jackson got about 77% of the snaps week 2, while Reagor got 85%. Corey Davis, pretty good when AJ Brown is out. Still pretty good when AJ Brown is in too, evidently. Golden Tate, another kind of sleeper, kind of boring name that might have been dropped, might have not even been drafted in your league. And also Sterling Shepard is hurt. Golden Tate's always been very consistent, very solid, especially in PPR leagues. I talked about Keelan Cole, starting wide receiver for the Jaguars. D.D. Westbrook is not playing. He's not starting anymore. He's not even suiting up during Jaguar games. So Keelan Cole, second option in that pass game, only behind Chark. And Minshew is just on fire. N'Keal Harry, man, I don't know how great N'Keal Harry is, but I do know how great Cam Newton is. Cam is playing out of his mind, especially if you consider he hasn't played in a while and he's on a brand new team, doesn't have great weapons, not the best running backs. He's just not in the best situation. And he's still balling. He's been very accurate. And N'Keal Harry is reaping those rewards. 6 targets week 1 and double that week 2. So we know he's a big part of that offense now. And then we have Tre'Quan Smith, who's probably the best wide receiver with Mike Thomas out. We know Emmanuel Sanders hasn't done anything this year. KJ Hamler, who I like, is like kind of like a Jalen Reagor type pick. You get him. Cortland Sutton, by the way, out for the year, so you can drop him in redraft. Allen Lazard is a number 2 option in that pass game for the Packers. I guess you can maybe argue Aaron Jones is. He's just heavily used in that offense, such a big part of that offense. Adam Humphries, decent. And then we have MVS. We're starting to get into really deep league territory here. Chase Claypool, nothing more than a flyer. You can't start him now. But if anything were to happen to those, to Deontay Johnson or Juju, Claypool would take a huge leap. Even if something were to happen to James Washington, Claypool may be worth considering. He has so much upside. It looks so good. He's just a rookie and still getting acclimated and not getting that many targets. So you can't start him, but oh boy, am I really excited about him. I'm still tempering expectations. Like I said, he's your wide receiver 6. He's relegated to your bench. Old man Larry Fitzgerald, Hunter Renfrow, Cole Beasley, Steven Sims, Damiere Byrd, who got 9 targets week 2. Oh boy, Cam's looking good, man. And Van Jefferson. All those are deep league ads. For tight ends, I think my top 2 are going to be Dalton Schultz and Drew Sample. Those 2 I'm very confident in. I love them. They should be owned in a lot of leagues. Go ahead and put at least a $0 claim on them if you're FAB. If you don't need a tight end, I guess you don't need to waste a waiver claim. Chris Herndon, I still have faith in this guy. I don't have any faith in the Jets. Probably the worst team in the NFL. Comment below, who's the worst team in the NFL? I think it's got to be the Jets. Give me number 31 and 30 as well. I think number 32 is going to be the Jets on the power rankings. Still, though, he should be getting a lot of targets. They had a rough game against the Niners. That was a crazy, weird game. So let's give him a pass. I don't have high expectations for the Jets, okay? But I still feel like Herndon is worth the flyer as a tight end, too. If he's available, he'll probably get dropped. But people who picked him up listened to me and had no one else and started him week 2. Now they're pissed. They're mad at me. They're mad at themselves. And oh boy, are they mad at Adam Gase and the Jets. And they'll probably drop him. Maybe you'll be able to get him for free as a free agent. Logan Thomas, Jordan Akins, Tyler Eifert, who actually did something week 2. Jack Doyle, I'm guessing he's going to be out this week, maybe a couple more weeks. He does have an ankle injury. Still worth an ad. In leagues where you can't find a tight end, Jack Doyle as your tight end 2 is not so bad, because once bye weeks start hitting, Jack Doyle will be back and healthy, I hope. I think Rivers will throw to him. Also, Parris Campbell has a significant injury. He's on IR, so that's a big blow. Jack Doyle could get a lot more targets. We got Jimmy Graham, Dan Arnold, Eric Ebron for those in the deepest of leagues. For defenses, who do I trust here? I think the top 4 are pretty good. After that, I don't trust too many of them. I mean, I love the Cardinals D2, but this is going to be, with Kenny Golladay back, this could be a shootout, fast-paced game. I do like the Cardinals scoring points somehow, racking up fantasy points, the Cardinals defense, but I just don't know about that game. So the top 4 I like. Any team going up against the Jets, you can start that defense, no doubt. Jets are the worst team. Boom, boom, boom. Also, Jamison Crowder might be out. He might play, he might not. Le'Veon Bell is definitely out. His team's not looking good. They had basically nobody I heard of catching the ball against the Niners week 2. Browns D, very good start against Washington. Should be a low-scoring game. Washington's offense not too explosive. You can just contain guys like Gibson, guys like McLaurin. You should be able to do fine. Bucks D going up against the Broncos. Broncos, starting quarterback out. Phillip Lindsay out. That's their running back 1B, essentially. Wide receiver 1 out. That's just so many good points for you to start the Bucks D. And then we got the Chargers going up against the Panthers with C-Mac out. This gives the Chargers D a huge boost. Teddy Bridgewater, not horrible, but I just don't think he has that huge upside to do anything crazy and put up 40 points or 30 points, especially against the Chargers. That's why I like those top 4. After that, we're getting into really risky, deep territory. I have the Cardinals D on a lot of, maybe like 3 of my leagues. I'm in 14 leagues. I know that's kind of insane. So I got the Cardinals D in like 2 or 3 of my leagues. I might start him in 1. I probably won't start him in any though. So yeah, it's just going to be a lot of wishy-washy from here on out. Eagles going up against the Bungles. They have a terrible O-line. Jags D going up against the Dolphins. Cardinals going up against the Lions. Giants going up against the Niners. Now this is not a trustworthy D, but if Jimmy G is out, you could probably do a lot worse than the Giants D. Also got the Dolphins, Titans, Washington defense going up against the Browns. Their front 7 is nasty. And in super, super deep specialty weird leagues, you guys know if you're in a weird league. Falcons D going against Trubisky. It's risky, but some could happen. And then the Vikings D, my algorithms are predicting them to be a top 7 defense this week, but I don't see it. Still, Vegas has this being a close game. Only 2.5 point favorites are the Titans, and not a low scoring game, not a super high scoring game. 47.5 total projected points. Usually the projected points on like an average scoring game is about 46, 45, something like that. So it's about an average scoring game, and they don't see the Vikings getting blown out. They're at home. I think the Vikings will get back on track at some point. Maybe they got a good coach. They have some good players. They sure didn't get back. They sure didn't get back on track this past week 2. Kickers. I think the top 6 right here are really good locks. You can go with any of these top 6, but all these kickers listed on this screen right here, the top 11, all are decent. Like I might start Tyler Bass in a league or 2, and that's totally fine. Yanwei Koo, you can always start him. So starting with number 1, again, the Colts should have a big lead. They should be easily in that red zone and within field goal range on a lot of their drives. Even their defense can do some things, get you some easy extra points, get back in field goal range, super easy going up against the Jets. It's pretty much a no-brainer. Jake Elliott, this is going to be really risky kicker, but a lot of upside here as well. Not really a big difference between number 2 and number 6. I think actually Boswell is the safest kicker. Then we got Michael Badgley, who I like even more if Tyrod Taylor is out. Let's see what happens. By the way, Coach Anthony Lynn is like, Tyrod Taylor is 100% the starter if he's 100% healthy or whatever the heck he's trying to say, and he keeps repeating himself. That sounds like Tyrod Taylor's gonna lose his job soon. that's just my gut feeling. Josh Lambo of the Jaguars, Zane Gonzalez of the Cardinals, love it, and Chris Boswell, like I said, a very safe kicker. He could even be ranked as high as number 2. And then Mason Crosby's pretty good. Not the best of matchups. Gostkowski going against the Vikings. Jason Myers, Yanwei Koo, Tyler Bass. Very excited about this rookie kicker. And in deeper leagues, you got Suckup and Nick Folk, who is actually, I'd say he's pretty good, but doesn't really have the range as he once used to when he was the Folk hero. What was that, like 5 years ago? Doesn't quite have that, but still accurate when it comes to short kicks, and I think the Patriots know that. Quick update on the upload schedule. Every Tuesday we're doing waiver wire videos. Wednesdays we're doing Hack My Lineup live streams. Thursdays the ranking videos. Right after Thursday Night Football, we head on over to the second YouTube channel, go live for the podcast. Fridays we're doing DFS picks, and Friday evenings a Patreon only exclusive live stream. And then Saturdays we're doing weekly snake drafts. New draft every week. That's right, in hashtag Beat the Brain. Lots of excitement, lots of hype on those Saturday live streams. Make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel right here. It really helps out, guys. Absolutely free and easy to do. Also subscribe to our second YouTube channel, Fantasy Couch Podcast. Smash the like button if you enjoyed it. Dislike if you did not, and I'll catch you on the next video / live stream. Good luck this week. Go get that W, baby.